friends. How are you guys this beautiful Friday afternoon? Okay, I was just checking out the website to make sure that I give you guys the accurate information. If you have not been here to Cosmic TV before, we actually just rebranded from Awoken TV. So you can find Cosmic TV under Awoken TV in the App Store. I believe you might also be able to search it under Cosmic TV. You can also go to the website, which is www.awoken.tv. And basically, what you're going to find is other shows like this. You're going to find courses from light workers and healers and mystics and thought leaders. You're also going to find films from conscious filmmakers. It's really like a spiritual and metaphysical Netflix, like anything that you can imagine needing on your spiritual journey. Go to Cosmic TV and check it out, okay? My name is Laura Mazzotta. If you have not met me before, welcome. If you have met me before, welcome back. And please say hello in the comments because I love interacting with you guys. I am a generator in human design, which means that I do best when I am able to respond to your requests, to whatever coming up for you, okay? So definitely say hello. And I also want to make sure that the comments are working. I'm just looking back and forth here on my phone so that I make sure not to miss anyone, because sometimes the Facebook comments aren't working, and especially we are still in this full moon energy in Capricorn. So whenever we have really powerful cosmic energies or a cosmic event, we can experience more interruptions in technology. Just happens. It kind of knocks off our energy a little bit. So anyway, welcome, 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 and happy Friday. Today we are going to be talking about being miserable and depressed. So raise your hand in the comments, either live or on the replay, if you are experiencing that now or know that there are other people in your life who really need access to this information or have experienced it in the past and are happy to say, I'm out of that now and I don't deal with that anymore. So you can let me know, or you can just put an emoji in the comments as well. And feel free to tag somebody who could really benefit from listening to this. One of the things that I know as a therapist of almost 20 years, and I'm also an Akashic healer and teacher, but I recently just switched over from traditional therapy. I've been building and working on both businesses for a couple of years, but transitioned out of traditional therapy at the end of 2020 entirely because I just believe so wholeheartedly in the fact that this spiritual healing is deeper and more effective and more efficient than anything that I've ever found in the medical or mental health worlds. So hence why I am here today, why I am here every single Friday at 2:15 p.m. Eastern, 11:15 a.m. Pacific, because I really want to assist people with knowing more about how to integrate this into their lives, because it can be a very overwhelming world to enter into, for sure, okay? It can be a very overwhelming world. And a lot of times when we start doing work like this, we feel like we're in kind of a desperate state, like we are really miserable and depressed, or we are feeling really stuck or helpless. And then we don't have that momentum. Like we don't really have that extra push to be able to motivate ourselves to do whatever it is we need to do to be able to move forward and feel better in our lives. So I am here today to talk to you about being miserable and depressed. This is something that I have seen a ton over the past couple of decades and something that I've experienced myself. So there's no shame in you admitting the fact that this has occurred for you, or the fact that this is occurring now, or the fact that you know somebody that's really close to you who's experiencing this. There's a lot of shame around feeling miserable. There's a lot of shame around feeling depressed. And I'm here to tell you that that shame is actually lower on the emotional vibration list than depression. So it's really important that you release the shame around depression. If you do that and you allow yourself to have this awareness around the fact that you are feeling miserable and depressed and you're ashamed about it, then you can go through the steps in the process to start releasing that shame, because just by doing that, being ashamed of being depressed, you're lifting your vibration a little bit. Okay? So I can talk to you all day about all the clinical understandings of depression and definitions and symptoms and all of that. Hi, Nina. Thank you so much for commenting, honey, so that I know that the comments work and I can shut off my phone. I'm really happy to have you here, sending you love. So what do we do when we get into this space, right? Because we can get really, really stuck. And it's really important for you to realize that every single person who has ever had depression or felt miserable has an underpinning of very deep anger. And this might not be anger that you're consciously aware of, but one of the things that Freud did say that was very helpful was that depression is anger turned inward. And it absolutely is. It's anger turned toward ourselves. But ultimately, it's anger. So if you're feeling miserable and depressed, or if you have felt miserable and depressed, again, I could go through all the symptoms and list them for you, but this is not a clinical tutorial. If you want to know them, I'm more than happy to share them with you because I know them like the back of my hand. However, I think it's more important to talk about actually the deeper understanding of not just how is this presenting, but what can we do about it? Like, how can we start to understand a little bit more deeply and start to pull ourselves out of it and generate more momentum in a space when we feel like, ugh, I got nothing, right? So the number one thing I can tell you is that if you're in this state or have been in this state, you're blaming someone. So we talked about anger, right? There's an anger that's underpinning all of this. You could be angry at yourself. You could be angry at other people. You could be angry at situations. You could be angry at the hand you feel you've been dealt. You could be angry underneath and not have any idea why. And I'm telling you that when that happens, when you're angry and you have no idea why, it's because it's come forward from past lives or it's come forward from your ancestors and has a deep root in either your family or in your soul's journey in previous lifetimes. And these could be previous lifetimes that are lived on this planet and ones that have not been lived on this planet. It could be either. Okay? So the other thing that I said was what? Blame. When we get angry, what we do is we blame other people or situations for being in the space that we're in. Oh, I don't have money because, or I don't have this because, or I can't get to this place because, or I feel this way because. And I'm not saying there haven't been things that have happened to you, because I know there have been things that have happened to you, and those are extremely, extremely valid. Extremely valid. Again, we don't want to feel ashamed of this. But what we do want to do is when we notice that we have shame or when we notice that we have depression at all, we start taking responsibility for the fact that now we have awareness of it. Now that you're aware of it, it's in your responsibility zone. So blaming other people is simply going to disempower you because when you blame, you are taking power away from yourself. You are saying, this person or this situation did this to me and I don't have any way out. One thing that you do need to know is that when we're working with spiritual energy, there's always a solution. There's always a way out. There's infinite possibility that exists in the universe. Absolutely infinite. There's galaxies beyond this galaxy, planets beyond this planet, stars beyond our stars, suns beyond our sun. Things that we have no idea about. It's literally infinite because the vast majority of what exists within our physical bodies, what exists on Earth, and what exists in the universe is space. The space between. And space can be malleable, space can be expanded, space can be contracted. Hi, Layla, good to see you, honey. Happy Friday. I said happy Friday, by the way, about 6 times in a video I did yesterday on a live on Facebook. And then people were gracious enough to be like, Laura, we love you, but it's Thursday. So I'm actually accurately stating that today is Friday, and I'm really excited about it. So anyway, yeah, so it's all space. And what does space offer us? Space offers us the opportunity to create. So when you get into these spaces where you feel miserable, where you feel depressed, and you start blaming all of these other people, what you're doing is you're putting your space, your energy with them, where you really need the space, instead to just like expand your awareness, expand your understanding, expand your vision. Start to open yourself to alternatives and try to get creative, right? Like, what's another way I can think about this? What's another way? How would I be acting or thinking or doing right now if I were in the space that I want to be in, which is higher energy, which is more positive mood, which is greater clarity, greater decisiveness, greater understanding of yourself and of the world around you, right? So number 1, anger is underlying. So look around to where you're feeling angry and start doing some forgiveness work around that. Also, releasing shame around being depressed and miserable, because that's just going to take you even lower on the emotional frequency scale. And we actually want you to get higher. And this is the interesting part here when we're talking about these two. So anger is actually higher on the emotional frequency scale than depression is. So yes, anger is the underlying emotion for depression, but that's because when it has come up in somebody's field, they've ignored it, or they haven't totally understood it, or they haven't explored it enough. And so without fully understanding that and not fully understanding the anger, it then builds up like the bricks, right? And it gets compressed down. It gets compressed down into depression. So that's why it's good. And a lot of people avoid looking at the anger because they're afraid of it. They're intimidated by the anger. So when you turn toward that anger, it can feel like, why am I making myself angry? Because you're actually taking steps and making progress on heightening your vibration. Get pissed. That's one of the best things to do. Hi, Sam. You're so welcome, honey. Thanks for being here. That's one of the best things to do to heighten your vibration, is to get mad. Okay? And then process that mad. Understand, why am I feeling angry? And you might not know the why super deeply, but what you're doing is you're acknowledging the anger, and then you're releasing the anger. You're at least acknowledging that it exists, even if you don't consciously understand it, and that's okay. Okay? So when you're on, so you have shame, then you have depression, then you have anger. Okay, so those are those 2 points. Then the third one is releasing blame. Taking that full responsibility for, okay, instead I'm going to get curious here. Instead of blaming Joe, I am going to get really, really curious about what it was that drew this person into my field, or drew this experience into my field. What could I have been needing to learn? What was the lesson that I needed to extract from that? What was the benefit that I received? Because there is a benefit to literally everything that comes into our fields. And I can say that after having gone through sepsis, after having gone through sexual abuse, after having gone through really devastating chronic illness, losing my father, right? Like significant events that have occurred, and I know every single one of them was for my highest good. Did I believe that right away? No. And when I was in miserable and depressed mode, did I believe that? No. In fact, I would get pissed when people would suggest otherwise. I would get frustrated. And what does that frustration show me? If any of you follow human design, you know that as a generator, frustration is a sign that I'm not following my design. It's a sign that I'm not following my natural blueprint and doing the things that naturally light me up and expand my energy and make me feel my best, right? So that's the other piece, is taking responsibility for everything that comes up into our field, owning it by saying, now that I have awareness of it, even if you don't want to say, oh, I didn't own it before, I didn't attract it to me, that's fine, go for it. Either way, as soon as it is in your awareness now, it is now on your responsibility list. It is now part of your vortex. It is now part of your understanding, your ability to fold this into your field in the way that it is supposed to weave into your story. Okay, so that's the third piece, is taking that responsibility. The fourth piece here, which kind of goes along with responsibility to a degree, and the blame, right? And forgiveness work, by the way, is the best thing to do for releasing that blame. If you guys look on my YouTube channel, which is Emerge Healing and Wellness, you will find that there's a couple videos that I've done on forgiveness for Awoken TV, now Cosmic TV. And one of them, I guided you through a compassionate context circle, which is one of my favorite tools for forgiveness, particularly when we're working on forgiving people from our past, or forgiving our ancestors, or people on our story now, right? So that's something that you can look into just to assist you with another skill to release that blame, and even release some of that anger as well. The favorite ways that my clients have to release anger are just to chuck ice cubes, like take ice cubes and just throw them on the ground and just crush them, right? And also that sensation in your hand, it takes all of that energy from your brain that was focused on being angry, and it sends all of the signals to your hand, because it's like, emergency, oh my gosh, I'm hurting, what's going on here, right? And it sends those nerve endings signals that then distract you from focusing so much on the anger. So it's effective that way too, right? And it's multisensory. The more multisensory that you can be when you're releasing anger, the more effective it's going to be. Okay. And the more grounded you're going to feel, and the more of a release you're going to feel, which is going to be beautiful because you ultimately want that relief. Okay. All right. So then the other thing that I want to share here, this I see the most often. I see it all the time. Again, not something to be ashamed of. Again, something that I've experienced in my life as well. And every tiny once in a while I slip back into, but I notice it much quicker and I shift out much quicker, which is victim mentality. So how many of you can admit to this? How many of you can say, yes, like I've totally been there where I'm like, woe is me, sucks to be me, I've been dealt a rough hand, or, you know, I can't believe that this is happening again. I can't believe I'm in this situation. Oh my gosh, this always happens to me. Those are the kinds of statements that come forward when you're in victim mentality. I don't even know what to do anymore. I'm stuck. I can't do anything. I'm not going anywhere, right? So that's throwing up your hands, okay? That's throwing up your hands. And the reason you're throwing up your hands, why is that? This is why people become suicidal too. I mean, it's not 100% of the reason, but it's like 96% of the reason that people become suicidal, because they feel trapped. They feel like they can't do anything. They feel helpless. They feel hopeless. They can't see anything beyond what they're in. And they don't have that momentum to be able to get creative, even to think about alternatives. Like I was talking about earlier, like they're like, I can't even think. I can't even go there. And I totally get it. I've been there. I've totally been there. So victim mentality is really all about what? It's about our inner child really wanting to feel safe, our inner child really wanting to feel taken care of and nourished and nurtured and held and comforted and loved unconditionally. That's what it's about. We are looking for someone to save us. And it's because we feel desperate. And I guarantee you that if you felt this way for a long time, this is not the first lifetime that you have felt this desperate. And this is not the first experience in your life, even if it was with ancestors, that they felt desperate and then passed it on to you, right? But when we're feeling this victim mentality, this woe is me, what are we looking for? We're looking for somebody to save us. We're looking for somebody to give us that magic pill or that magic solution to drag us out of what we're in. And sometimes it's necessary. Sometimes when we're really low, we do want to rely on other people. But what I want to encourage you to do, I want to empower you to try at least 3 things, 3 strategies for yourself before you ask somebody else to help you with it. Because then at least you can celebrate or acknowledge the fact that you put some effort in, the fact that you went outside of your comfort zone, because your comfort zone when you're depressed, your comfort zone when you're freaking miserable all the time, at least chronically, is to lie in bed with the covers over your head. That's your comfort zone. So it's being able to start breaking out of that. Find your comfort zone outside of your bed in your bedroom. Find your comfort zone in the bathroom. Find your comfort zone in the living room. Find your comfort zone in the front yard. Just extend it further and further and further until you start to realize that you are cultivating an environment of safety that exists outside of the depression and the misery. You are pushing your edge a little bit. Some people can say, I can't even get out of bed to even get comfortable in my room, to even feel safe. Well, guess what? There are opportunities for you to create that safety within you, right? These are some of the exercises I'm going to be taking you guys through in my free course called Momentum. This was a course that I have been marketing for about a week now, not even a week. And I had it priced at $444 pay in full, and I felt weird. Every single time I was posting it, it just didn't feel aligned. It didn't feel right. And the message kept coming through that everyone needs this, that everyone needs to generate momentum, that everyone needs this level of activation within them. So I just made it free because I let the AKASH tell me what to do. And I feel so much better about it. Now I'm even more excited about it because now I'm going to be taking you through the steps that I went through that took me a long time to develop and understand and know which were effective and which weren't and what combo was the most impactful. It took me years to figure this out. And this was when, after I had sepsis and I was totally depressed, couldn't get my ass out of bed for months. And that wasn't because of the depression, it was because of my physical body. But still, both were existent, and I'm sure they fed one another, right? But my mentality was very defeatist. It was very defeatist. I was definitely in victim mode. And I firmly believe that victim mode is a part of the game. It's a part of the path. We need to experience it, because then, honestly, if we experience it enough, it motivates us to get out of it. We're like, oh my gosh, I can't stand myself anymore. Like, I can't deal with this anymore, right? But we don't want that. We don't want to have to get to that point in order to feel motivated. We don't want to have to get to that point in order to feel like we're generating momentum. Hi, Sharon. Good to see you, honey. Welcome, welcome, and happy Friday. We're talking about being depressed and miserable. So let me know if you have any questions. So yeah, so that's what we reviewed today. Let me know if you guys have questions about this. We reviewed the fact that the root of depression is anger. So it's being able to be clear about identifying that and releasing. You're so welcome, Sam. I'm excited. And I'll drop the link here for you guys too, so that you have the opportunity to sign up for the free course. I'm so freaking excited about it. I'm telling you, it's just hysterical, like how this whole, I love working with energy. How I can post something for sale and then decide, you know what? No, it feels more aligned free. Which is just funny. Yeah, and I'm so excited now. But anyway, yeah, so that's the first one, right, is anger. So we can work on forgiveness. You can work on palpable, multi-sensory ways to release and shift that anger. Now's a great time, guys, in this full moon in Capricorn energy to write down everything you're angry about, fold that sucker up, burn it, release those ashes to Mother Earth, right? Okay, it's a great energy to do that in. Second, we're releasing blame, right? We're releasing blame. And when we do that, we're taking greater responsibility for what's currently in our field. Even if you're not ready yet to release responsibility or to accept responsibility and release blame for things that happened in your past, you're starting to do it for what's coming up in your awareness right now in your field. And that's fine. You're starting to practice it. The third one's releasing shame, right? The shame around being depressed and miserable, okay? Because when you release the shame around being depressed and miserable, you automatically heighten your vibration. You're actually helping yourself heal when you do that. And the last one is victim mentality, shifting your victim mentality. And how do we shift victim mentality when we're stuck in it, right? Because I remember not much got through when I was in victim mentality, because I was just like, I had such tunnel vision. I was so focused on where things were wrong. So yes, it's starting to look for those things that are going right, the progress you have made, even if it's the fact that you were able to get up and pee and the day before you couldn't get up, right? The littlest things, celebrate. You're not celebrating yourself enough if you're still stuck in victim mentality. You're not noticing the signs that are being sent to you by the universe because you're so clouded in what you're looking into, right? So I think one of the biggest things with this is the inner child work, right? Like cultivating that safety by saying to your inner child, you know what, have your tantrum, rant, say whatever it is you want to say, get it out of your system, be authentic, be open, right? Yeah, exactly, Layla. You just get so tired. It's exhausting. And that's why people think, oh, forgiveness is for other people, but it's not, it's for us. Releasing victim mentality is for us. It opens up our energy so much more to be able to receive the goodness that's coming in. It's such a loving gift to ourselves, right? So looking for those positives, having gratitude for what you do have is huge. And I'm telling you, I did not believe in the gratitude stuff until I actually did it consistently. And I was like, wow, this really, really shifts your vibration. And now that I've done it consistently, I don't have to. I mean, honestly, it's automatic. I do it all the time. I find the gratitude in everything. But now it literally takes one thought of gratitude to shift my vibration immediately. Like, it's such a quick fix. It's literally like taking that pill, but it took some time for me to be consistent with it to get there. So it's being grateful for the fact you have a roof over your head, being grateful you have indoor plumbing, being grateful you have access to clean water, being grateful that you have clothing. There's literally always something to be grateful for, to start recognizing the fact that you're opening yourself to the universe. Again, another good time to be able to do this is in the full moon energy, right? Because it's illuminating all of those things that need to come to the surface, that don't want to be stuck anymore, that just want to be released so that our being can feel lighter, so we can feel more lighthearted, right? and we can process things and just go about our day with greater ease. Okay, so I'm going to show you the roadmap of exactly how to do this in momentum. I'm going to show you exactly how I got from literally laying in bed, super depressed, super physically ill. And I couldn't see what was coming next. I couldn't see what the next day was going to hold. In fact, my health was very unpredictable at the time. And so I never knew what was coming. I never knew how I was going to feel. So I'm going to show you these very tried and true cultivated practices that have absolutely changed my life. I still use them to this day, every single day. I don't use all of them every single day. I mix and match, and you're going to be able to find the formula, and I'm going to assist you with finding the formula that works for you in this program. And those of you who are in my paid programs, like my Akashic membership, the Akashic Sangha, or in my certification program, or in my mastermind, you guys all get lifetime access to this, to momentum. Otherwise, it's still free for everybody, but the people who are not in my paid programs, the replays will be up, but they'll be up for a limited time. So definitely make sure to get your name on the list, because there's only going to be 100 people that are able to attend this, because it is a Zoom event. So, and if a lot more people want to get in, then I'll consider shifting over to a webinar so that you guys can still be part of it. But I actually really want to be able to connect with you guys face to face, because there's so many people in the community that I've connected with, like Sam, like Layla, that I haven't been able to meet face to face. And I would love, 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 love the opportunity to do that. You know, there's a different energy when you're able to be face to face with someone and really connect with what's going on in their field. It's more palpable, it's more intimate. So I'm really looking forward to this opportunity. So thank you to those who whose hearts this is calling to, and to those who are open to sharing this and tagging other people who really need and want to generate momentum, but they feel stuck and they don't know where to go. And the thing is, we want to be able to move through this and to take those steps compassionately. And it's funny, because there's a lot of steps that I took to get my momentum going that were not compassionate. Some of them worked, some of them didn't. But the ones that were not compassionate, they didn't nurture my being. They didn't nurture my heart and my soul, right? And so that's the thing, is I've been able to compile the ones that have been just really, really loving and supportive. And we want that to be part of the process, because we want, and the universe wants, us to be able to move through these times with ease and grace, because, you know, we signed up for being in human bodies. We signed up for the polarity. We signed up for the, you know, super shitty times and the super great times, right? And so it's important for us to embrace these times, knowing that we signed up for them, knowing that there's a purpose, and be able to approach the shift away from that vibration with love and compassion. So, Sam. Yes, exactly. You're so welcome. Thank you guys for being here. I love you. And definitely check out the link for Momentum. Sign up. Again, free course. It starts July 5th. It's going to be 2 modules, and the other one's going to be on July 12th at 2 p.m. Eastern time. So just check out the time conversion if you guys are not on Eastern time, and reach out if you guys have any questions, okay? And then I will see you next Friday here at 2:15 p.m. Eastern on Cosmic TV. Mwah. I love you all. Have a beautiful, beautiful weekend. Bye.